Hey guys, what's up? I'm Jen Rosenbaum, breast cancer survivor, photographer, writer, and I'm super happy to be here with you today. You guys have been amazing following me along in my 4-year journey of breast cancer. Back in 2017, I was diagnosed with invasive lobular carcinoma, stage 2B. I had bilateral mastectomies, 4 reconstruction surgeries, 8 rounds of chemotherapy, and just recently, nipple tattoos. So yay, kind of rounding out the entire experience. So I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the nipple tattoos today because there's so many questions about it. I've gotten so many questions. I had so many questions. And to be honest, I really hesitated getting them for so long because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about my experience with it. So I'm going to give you some information, the things that I know, but I just want to tell you guys I'm not a doctor and I'm not a tattoo specialist. You'd have to ask your doctors about what is good for you. This is not meant to be any sort of medical advice or anything of the sort. I just want to share my experience as a patient. Doctors give us amazing advice and tell us how things are going to be, but you don't really know exactly what's going on until you talk to a patient, right? So I'm going to share that with you today. So I waited quite a while to get tattoos. I was very, very nervous about the experience, not of the actual tattooing, but about what it would be like to sort of have nipples. So I had to remove my nipples during my mastectomy, so I had nothing there prior to this, and I am not a candidate for nipple reconstruction surgery. So sometimes doctors will give you surgery where you can make a little nub, kind of like something that looks like a nipple, and then they'll tattoo that nipple and they'll tattoo the areola so that it looks real, and it's pretty amazing what they can do. It's unbelievable. But I was not a candidate for that, and I was not because my skin is very, very thin, so there was not enough skin to work with. And to be honest with you, I just didn't want to do another surgery. I had my mastectomy and 4 reconstruction surgeries. It was quite a lot, and I wasn't looking to do anything else. So I opted for the flat nipple tattoos that are 3D, so they look 3D. So from far away, it looks like real nipples, even though it's not. It's kind of crazy. I wasn't sure if I wanted it. First of all, I post a lot on Instagram, right? So not having nipples makes me very Instagram friendly. And as a breast cancer advocate, somebody who posts photos of herself quite often, and I'll link to my Instagram below. So if you guys want to check it out, if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook or somewhere else. As a breast cancer advocate, it's really important that my photos are not censored and taken down, which I have had some problems with. So having no nipples allows for that. So that's pretty interesting, right? All of a sudden, no nipples and boobs are fine. So that's one of the reasons why I hesitated. And the other reason is that there is just a lot of emotion tied up in finishing this process or putting the finishing touches on this process. After I had my last surgery, my plastic surgeon had put prosthetic nipples on me, and I just started crying. And I don't even know why, because I always thought when you get to the point where you're getting tattooed, you're going to be put together, you're going to be happy, it's like you're triumphant. And I was feeling actually very sad and very confused by the whole thing. So I decided to just shelve it. What happened was I went to photograph another patient getting her tattoos done, and it was just life-changing. When I saw what her transformation was and what it looked like, I thought to myself, oh, maybe I should do this. I don't know. So at that time, the tattoo artist put on tattoos on my chest that were just, they wash off in a couple of days, temporary tattoos, they wash off in a couple of days, but she put them on. She said, live with them for a little while, see what you feel like. And at first it looked so strange. It was like looking in the mirror and seeing something that was, I don't know, just totally foreign. And it's so strange how you can have nipples for 41 years and not for 4. And you've gotten so used to not having them that having them again looks strange. But I lived with it for a bit. The nipples lasted about 3 weeks. And when they started wearing off, I actually felt myself get sad. So I was like, okay, maybe I'm ready for this. Maybe this will be a good step for me. So I booked an appointment. And I decided to do it on August 3rd, which is the day after my mastectomy anniversary and the day before my birthday. So what better birthday present to give myself and mastectomy anniversary present than putting the finishing touches on my reconstruction. So I'll tell you a little bit about the actual process the day of. So it's actually pretty harmless. You go in, we first work on placement. Placement is obviously super important. This is permanent and we want to make sure it's in the right place. So as my plastic surgeon taught me, placement is not directly in the front of the breast, but in the middle of the breast when you're looking at it from about 45 degrees. You want it to be facing forward. So the placement of where you're going to put it is really important, and it's also important because of your scar tissue. So my scars go across my chest like this. I also have scars underneath my breasts, but we wanted to make sure that we are really working around the scars the way we want to, whether it means overlapping them or moving it around so that it avoids the scar. My scars are not in the same place. One is a little higher than the other, so it kind of can trick the eye a little bit. So you want to make sure that placement is really good. So it took us quite a while to get the placement down exactly. And once we did, we worked on color, and the color can vary. How does a tattoo artist decide on color? Mostly it's from the other tones in your skin, the pigments in your skin. So like if you have freckles or spots on your body, it gives an indication, like, are you looking for something a little more brown? Are you looking for a little more pink, orange? There's a lot of different variations that you can go with. One of the things I recommend is, if you haven't had your mastectomy yet, is to take pictures of your breasts now, which I did. So I was able to show her my old nipples and the color that I really wanted to kind of match as much as possible. So that was really helpful. And here's another little tip I actually put on Instagram, that your natural lip color often matches your nipples, at least for some women, not all women, but it's usually pretty close. So that's something to think about also, just with color and whatnot. And for me, I made the request to go very, 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 very light. It was important to me. I didn't want to go too dark. I didn't want it to be too jarring. I wanted to sort of ease into the process. So we went very light. We went with more of a pinkish brown. That's what works for my skin tone. I do have some redness in the skin on my breasts around the scars. Although my scars are not super prevalent, there is definitely redness. So we wanted to make sure that the nipple color was different, so it wouldn't just all blend in together. So there's a lot of considerations when coming up with these things, and I really recommend working closely with your tattoo artist and your plastic surgeon. I insisted that my plastic surgeon be there so that he can help me. I mean, he's taken me 98% of the way. I'm not gonna let him not have a say in the last 2%. So Dr. Israeli was there with me, which was amazing. And the actual tattoo only takes about an hour to an hour and a half. It didn't take that long. And another question I get was, did you feel it? Yes, I felt it in some spots, not all, because again, around the scars, I have no feeling, no sensation, but some of the other parts, like a little bit above and a little bit below, I definitely felt it. Nicole, my tattoo artist, used some lidocaine to help numb it a little bit. And I'll be honest, I was actually very happy that I felt it, because I've had really no feeling for such a long time. So it was good in a way for me, reassuring, okay, oh, look, I can feel a little bit more than I thought I was going to feel. So yes, I did feel some of it, but it was well worth it. I have to say I cried quite a bit leading up to it. I was really anxious, really sad, excited at the same time. You know, one of the things I talk about quite a bit with breast cancer and other traumatic life events is that conflicting emotions can exist at the same time. So to be happy, to be joyous, to know that this experience is going to put the finishing touches on a very long journey was amazing, but also it felt very permanent. It felt as if it were an acceptance that this is who I am now. I am never going to have natural breasts or nipples again. Even as I'm saying it, I get a little misty-eyed, so I know that I'm touching on something. And I think 4 years in, I have accepted it, but it doesn't mean that it's always easy. And so there's just a lot of emotions. You know, I remember when I first started my journey, a lot of people sent me videos of Vinnie Myers. If you guys are familiar with Nipple Tattoos, you know his name. He was the one that really kind of originated it, I guess. He's down in Maryland, and everybody was sending me these pictures of Vinnie, or these videos of Vinnie giving women tattoos and saying, you know, oh my gosh, it changed my life and I'm done with the process. And I remember thinking, when I get to that day, that's going to be like the day that everything is done and I'm going to be back to normal. And it's not quite like that. There is no more normal as we knew it before. There's the new normal, right? So this is part of getting into the new normal for me. And sometimes when we step into the new normal and the parts of our lives that we have not yet figured out, especially after cancer, it can be intimidating and nerve-wracking. And I think that that's really where my emotions were. But I can tell you that the day of the tattoos, I felt very empowered. I felt really excited that I wasn't going to the doctor's office for a bad reason. I was going for a good reason. And I was lucky enough to have a friend come with me and take some pictures, which again, if you guys want to check out it, a lot of them are on Instagram. She held my hand and she reminded me that I am strong and it was going to be a great experience. And I have to say it was. It really was such a good experience. When I was done with the tattoos and I looked in the mirror, I just felt like I did the right thing. I just knew I did the right thing. And it's been 2 weeks since I've gotten them. And every time I take off my shirt or I get undressed in front of the mirror and I see them, I feel very excited by it. I feel like I recognize that person. It immediately made me feel more whole. It made me feel healthy. It made me feel feminine. I notice on me, like I've been getting dressed a little bit more, putting on some makeup. Not that this is everybody's experience, but for me, I'm feeling empowered as a woman right now. I'm feeling like all of a sudden my foobs or my accessories have become a little bit more a part of me. And I'm just so glad I did it. And a few people have mentioned to me, like, something's different with you, what's up? And I do think it's part of, they told me I look different or that I'm carrying myself differently. And I do believe the tattoos lend itself to that experience for me quite a bit. And that I definitely feel more like a woman now than I did even 2 weeks ago. And it has helped me heal. It's helping me feel that I can exist in this world as a quote-unquote normal person. I know we all hate that word normal, but it's definitely helping me function that way, where like if I'm at the gym and I want to get changed, I can take off my shirt and I don't have to worry about somebody seeing me or what they're going to say or be fearful that somebody's going to look at me as damaged or different. In a lot of ways, I don't mind that. I love my scars. I love what it represents and my strength and who I am as a woman. I don't know if you can hear what's going on back here. I'm dying of laughter. My kids are running around, flushing toilets. Anyway, my scars and my current breasts or my foobs really represent the strength that I have, the resilience that I have. But also it feels nice to feel normal sometimes, right? To just feel like you felt before all of this. To just not worry about it for a minute and be able to just take off your shirt and look in the mirror and go, okay, there I am. I recognize that person. So it's been, for me, that's been my experience with the nipple tattoos. I go in another 2 weeks to see my doctor. He just wants to make sure everything looks good, especially for me because I have very, very thin skin. He wants to make sure everything is okay. And then I will go back in another 4 weeks after that for round 2. So she'll go in, she'll darken them a little bit because they have faded, which is normal as they heal. And she'll put in a little bit more detail and we will see from there if I need a third session or not. But I have to say I am so unbelievably happy. And I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions about it that I'm not answering this video. So if you do, please post them below and I will make a second video answering all of the questions. If you want to see what they look like, you can check out my Instagram page, although Instagram is kind of playing games with me and taking some posts down. But I do have links on there to my plastic surgeon's page and the tattoo artist page where you can see the before and afters. They are still up on their pages. And I just adore you guys and I appreciate you following along from beginning to end. Somebody asked me the other day, look at this one. Now this one's acting cuckoo. Someone asked me the other day, are you going to stop making videos because you're done with the process now? And my answer to that is, first of all, I am not done with the process by any means. There's still so much more to do, still so many years to live and so many things to talk to you guys about. But secondly, I'm not going anywhere. I promise you, I am going to make more videos. I am working on really filming a lot of content for especially YouTube and keeping you guys abreast of what, no pun intended, no pun intended, but to keep you ahead of what is going on here and the continuing journey of what being a survivor is and what survivorship is like. And I look forward to serving you and answering the questions that you guys have in any way that I can. So make sure you post them below, communicate with me, write to me. I answer all my messages. And for those of you who have been through this journey and you're looking for some more support, definitely check out my Facebook group and my book on Amazon. You can find it just by searching my name. And I adore you and I wish you good health.